Call to order the February 26, 2026 meeting of the Parks and Recreation Commission. Millie, could you do a roll call attendance?
Commissioner Bartholomew,
Present.
Commissioner Chacheroni,
Here.
Commissioner Darty,
Here.
Commissioner Stratton,
Here.
Commissioner Samaro.
Here. First, we'll go to the Commissioner's report for the event permit presentation.
Thank you, Madam Chair. So unfortunately, I need to sit here and do this, so everything's going to be on the screen. But if you have any questions, let me know, just because I don't have enough staff to manage it all. So I'm trying to do double duty here. So we're here today for the event permit application. We've been doing this for over 20 years now in an attempt to make sure that everybody is clear and concise with as much information as possible. So you're getting it in multiple formats. You're getting it in a format that is this, the presentation virtual. You're getting it on the rules and regulations and on the application. And then you're getting it with your questions that are being asked of park staff or cultural staff in regards to what exactly that means. So we're going to go through the presentation here. If there's questions, if we could hold them to the end, I'm willing to take anything that you have. We'll be here. What we're going to do is at the end of the meeting, at the end of the presentation, we're going to go in a 5-minute recess. Millie and I will both be here. For those of you who don't know, Melissa Richford, who also works in our office, is in the back. She'll be here. If there's any questions, we're more than happy to take those questions if there's anything like that. If it's something of a more event nature, your event nature, or your personal kind of event that you're having, we're more than happy to answer those at that point. And then we're going to then go back into regular session for the rest of our agenda. You do not need to stay for that. So as soon as I'm done, everybody can run out. Feel free. I know nobody wants to be here, so I appreciate that everybody came, though. I really do, and I think for us it's a really beneficial functionality to make sure that we're trying to be clearer and more concise with the information that we're giving out. So, everybody clear? With that being said, what you see in front of you is our address and our information. So, our office is open from 8:30 to 5. We are really looking for anything that may come to us when you're talking about the different types of permits. Oh, by the way, you don't need to take pictures of this. This will get posted tomorrow on the city's website, so you'll be able to reference it back. I don't want anyone to have to either write it down or whatever else. So we really want to focus in on permit information, particularly those that are for our stage or for our sports or our events, and not so much the event side, but the other ones, before 3:30. Because on our end of it, if you're coming in at 5 minutes to 5, right, staff are trying to get out, they're trying to leave, they may have already left, some of them. So we want to try to be able to help you as soon as we can, but we need you to come in a little bit earlier. But this is our address. You are already here, 50 Officer Manny Familia Way, and our phone number and fax number up there. There are 3 types of permit applications that we're going to talk about here. So in the past, we used to do one meeting where we did all of our sports leagues and all of our event stuff as one meeting. It got really confusing going back and forth because there are differences between the two of them. And so by doing it this way, we've really tried to streamline down that they're really 2 different types of event, 2 different types of permits. With that being said, the special event permit, if anybody who's done it last year knows that permit is now fully online. We've rearranged it again this year with our partners at Cultural Development, and that application is online. That is something that you need to go through there, and your main contact will be Cultural Development. If you're looking for the portable stage or you're looking for the Stearns Tavern, those still go through our office. So as of right now, event permits only go through Cultural Development. Sports, and those 2 right there, portable stage and Stearns Tavern go through our office. At some point, we will work to get everything sort of cohesive, but we're trying to take baby steps to make sure that what we're presenting and what you're using is beneficial to you and beneficial to us, and we're trying to marry those two things together. That's the location for your special event application. And if you have questions regarding a special event, the cultural development will be your contact for that. They will communicate with us on the park side. You will deal with cultural development on all of the functionalities regarding your permit application. On this, the special event permit application must be submitted to cultural for review first. So the way the system works, everything goes to them, they then ship it to us. We'll review it and confirm the date. All right, so that's the first line of approval. It's not your only line of approval, it's your first line. So if it comes back and the date's good and you're all set to go, we're going to let cultural know that the date is good, and then what we will do on our end is work on, okay, what are the requirements on our end based on the application you submit. You will then get a fee component to it, and then a final approval once everything's paid. Please, 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 please try to get your information to us as soon as possible. At least the initial, for two reasons. One, we have people knocking down the door looking for event space, places to have their, whatever they're doing, their road race, their whatever. The sooner we know, the sooner we can book that. You'll see as we go a little bit further through this that there are some criteria that we use in deciding who gets what. And we'll talk about that when we get there. But in general, city events are first, and anyone that's had a previous event is second. And then it will go down, filter down from there. We do that for two reasons. One, because many of you with an event are looking for that same weekend or that same time frame every year, right, for consistency's sake. And so we want to be able to offer that to you, and that's part of why we do this, and we have you come to us, and we want to get this information first. Then what we want to do is open it up, right? If we have an opening, we want it to be able to be used. So ideally, 3 months ahead of time would be the preferred time frame for your event. Understanding that you're not going to have everything worked out, but as soon as you can get that to us, the better. We can always work out the details as we move through those next couple of months, but it gets really difficult on our end, and I think on your end, to try to do that within 2 weeks or within a month. It can be a little daunting depending on what you need for other permits, other requirements. So 3 months is our ideal. We're trying to turn them around on our end within a couple of business days from the initial request and us confirming the date, so that we can try to maximize that window as well on our end of it. It may take up to 30 days. It shouldn't on our end of it, but it may, depending on what you're going to need. So for alcohol on Worcester Common, which is the only place we allow alcohol, if you're looking for that, that requires a Parks Commission meeting, as well as a License Commission meeting. So we need enough time to be able to manage that expectation to be able to make sure you're going to be able to meet our meeting here and a License Commission meeting. For our portable stage and Stearns Tavern, that's all through our office. Contact our office. We can help you through that. Those are online at the web address below. That is online. You can grab them from the previous place where you always got them before when we had our event permit there as well. So that is available there for everyone's purpose. Application fees. So last year, we eliminated a large number of fees that were for electricity or for other amenities that we supply. There is still staffing fees. Those are not going to be waived. That is an overtime cost on our side of it to have staff at the event. So there is no waiving of that fee. We are not going to waive it. Because that is not a budgeted item within our operating budget. And if I had to do it for one, right, I should be doing it for everybody. And we don't have that available to us. So on that side of it, staff fees are not waived in any way, but that is the only thing that you are charged for on the park side. Other departments may have other fees. Those are not, I don't have that piece to it, but on the park side, it is only our staff fee to reimburse us at $65 an hour, minimum of 4 hours, which is part of our collective bargaining agreement with the union. So the staff fees, I've mentioned this already, no discounts, $65 an hour. If you are needing the electrician and you need electricity, we need to know that as soon as possible in your application, because there may be a site that you're going to that does not have either enough electricity or electricity at all. And so we need to understand what it is and then what you're going to need it for. And we'll go into that in a minute here too. The electrician is there for electrical purposes. So if they're tying into a panel, they're not there to pick up trash. They're not there to do other things and run around. They're there to monitor that, because in the end, it is their license that is on the line if we're doing something within that electrical box or with that electrical system. So understand that that's the case. There's been some concerns, well, the electrician doesn't do anything. Well, it's his license and his expertise that is allowing us to be able to use that. Otherwise, you would bring in generators. And feel free, you can bring in generators all you want. I don't have a problem with that, but there's another whole set of rules and regulations when it comes to generators. How far they need to be away from the space, they have to be secured, they have to have a fence around them, there's a whole bunch of other stuff. So, on the portable stage, that fee for the portable stage is pretty much our cost to get it to the site, set it up, go back to the site, break it down, and bring it back. So that $1040 is our cost for that purpose. The stage is not accessible. There's no ramp. There's no access to that. There's stairs, but there's no accessible access to that. We are looking at that as a functionality of looking for something down the road where we would have one that is accessible, but our current stage is not accessible. It was actually purchased back in the early 90s, and we are still using the same stage from the early 90s. We've continued to put money into it, put it back together, fixed it when it broke down, but it's over 30 years old as of right now. So the stage is 24 by 24 by 4. So it's 4 feet high, 24 by 24. You can, and we do leave one side up because it travels like an 18-wheeler. We will be able to leave one side up. So you can use it as a backdrop or use it in whatever manner you choose to. But laid out fully is 24 by 24 by 4 feet high. Trash removal. It is your responsibility as an event organizer to remove trash. If you want us to assist, we're more than happy to. In most cases, there's an initial fee of $400 that entails the truck, the fee for us to get rid of the trash, and the staff to get the vehicle there, pick up the trash. It does not include picking up around the entire site. It is only pick up bags at 1 or 2 locations, getting them in and getting them off site. So the pickup throughout your event site would be your responsibility. Now, we are able, most times, and capable of helping you with that, but there would be an additional cost to that. So there's another staff person that would be needed for that pickup in and around the park or the event site that you're at. So it's $400 for the initial, and then it's $260 for 4 hours for our staff to come in. That's $65 an hour times 4. And that's the minimum. And then depending on the size, so if you're small or you're really large, we'll gauge that based on what we've seen either from your past event or from other events if you're new on what that's going to look like on the city side. If you decide that, you know what, I don't want the city to help me with trash, and I don't want the city to take it away, and we come back, and this has happened many of times in my career, and the park is a disaster, we are going to charge the event organizer for the cleanup of that site. Because that's not part of regular maintenance and care that we, as a parks department, do. Do we have to go pick it up? Yes. But the event is what caused it. The event will be charged for that. And that will be also on an overtime basis. It is the responsibility of the organization, individual holding the event, to make sure the facility is clean. And in my eyes, I look at it as cleaner than when I got there. Now, if the site is a mess, sometimes it happens, there's an event before you, vandals came in and did something to the site, what we need you to do is take a picture of it and let us know. All right? We do this a lot with our sports leagues when it comes to field spaces and dugouts and bench areas and where spectators are, right? If you come onto a site and the site's a disaster, that's not your fault. We understand that. But if you don't tell us, it becomes your fault because you were the last ones there. So you got to let us know. Your best route for that is to take pictures of it, call our park security staff. That will be on. They can come over. They can work with you on that, and then we can work out those details from there. Doesn't happen. It happens more so often on the sports side, on the field side, than it does this. But you know, there could be a garbage can that someone decides to go looking for nickels and rips it apart, and everything's all over the place because it was a windy day. So your best case scenario, make sure you take pictures of it ahead of time and send those to us. Send those to the park email address, parks@worcesterma.gov. Send them there as soon as you come upon it. Don't say, oh, I'll wait till the end of the day or I'll wait till it's all over. Do it right away because that's the time frame that we're looking at. We're going to be looking at when you sent that email to us to sort of gauge that because unfortunately, I've had other people tell me this after the event is all over and say, well, no, it was like that when I got there. Okay, right. All right, so we're trying to protect you, we're trying to protect us, and we're all in this together to try to make sure that your event is successful, but we keep the asset, the park, in an appropriate manner that you can come use it, and then others after you can come use it as well. Payment options. So the City of Worcester, in our office, accepts checks, money orders, and credit cards only. We do not, under any circumstance, accept cash. So no cash, don't bring cash, we're not going to accept cash. If you have cash and you don't have a checking account, go to a bank, get a money order. We don't accept cash. And we don't have change. We don't keep cash in our office, so you need to go and get that there. If you have an existing balance, we need that paid ahead of time. Everybody else, all the people that pay, deserve everybody who hasn't paid to pay their bill. And so we are looking for everyone to pay their past balances before we issue a permit. We are happy to work with everybody, right? We understand that sometimes the beginning of your event, cash flow is tight, you're not able to meet that right away, you have some concerns. But in the end, our costs are our costs, and the costs for other departments are the costs. So we need to have those paid. We need the past balances paid. If you're interested to see, the council has asked for a report, which was given to them on Tuesday night, that talked about all of the organizations that have paid, and then all the organizations that haven't paid. So that is available publicly. It is online and available for use if you want to go to the city clerk's agenda items for the council. It was on this past Tuesday night. We will, as we go through this, we will pay out the previous bill. So any money you give us is going to go to your oldest invoice. And then we move it forward. So if you have a $2,000 bill from last year and you give us $1,000, well, that only goes to last year. That doesn't cut into what you're doing this year. It always goes to the oldest bill that you have with us. Again, we have not, to this time frame, said to somebody, we're not letting you have your event. Right? We've really tried to work with everybody to try to make things and make sure that these events are successful, but at the same time, we still need to be able to recoup the funding because there's a lot of other organizations that have paid their bill, and everybody needs to pay their bill. Cancellation policy, one of the biggest things, and one of the things that people and organizers may not understand. So, when I schedule staff for a weekend, right, I'm scheduling them on Friday. I'm not scheduling them on Saturday. I'm not scheduling them on Sunday, right? Our office isn't open. So if we're going to cancel, we need to cancel on Friday or the last business day before your event. Don't just assume that because you sent an email or left a message that that's there. Please confirm that, right? So send an email so you have a record of it, and then call the office and see and make sure that you get a confirmation of that. Because if we're sending staff and we don't hear anything, our staff are showing up, whether it's raining or not. They're going to show up. So I need everybody here to make sure that you're communicating that with us, sending the email, follow up with a phone call. We will send you something back. Don't send it to an individual staff member. Send it to the Parks email account because all of us in the office have access to that email account, whereas an individual's email account, only one person has access to that. And if they're not there that day, no one else is seeing it. So it's important to do that 10 a.m. the business day before your event. So if your event is on a holiday Monday, we need to know Friday. I know that becomes difficult. I know weather changes, but staffing-wise, that's how we're sort of geared up on our end of it. Refunds. We're not going to be giving refunds unless we have the proper feedback on your end that you canceled the event, right? And you have that in writing. Again, use the email. That's your date stamp. That's your time stamp. That's going to give you that ability to say, hey, I called you and I'm looking for my refund if you had already paid something to us. Make sure you're getting confirmation from us that we received it too. Because email, you don't get an automatic response, so we want to be able to have that and have you call us and do that, and we've talked about that. If you don't, and you decide, well, you know what, I'm not going to do that, you will be charged for whatever our staff fee is for your event. And our staff are going to show up, like I said. They're not going to not show up. They're going to show up. So we need to make sure that we're protecting you and protecting us at the same time. Again, always, always, always use that Parks email account, please, when you're canceling so that multiple people have access to it. That's the key to making sure that that's going to happen. So I mentioned before our scheduling of events. This is our priority. All right, so City of Worcester events are the number one component. They get priority over everybody, no matter what it is. Now, what we do is if you already have an event that you've had for the last year, 2 years, 3 years, on a particular weekend, and the city wants to hold an event on that weekend, right, we're going to reach out to you first and see, can you move your event? Can we figure out another location for it? Or whatever. So we're not going to automatically just kick you out. We are going to reach out to you for that purpose. But in the end, City of Worcester events take priority. Annual events, many of you have those, road races and other events that are annual. They're on the same weekend every year. It's the first weekend in June or the last weekend in July or whatever that is. And this year's really wacky because Labor Day is really late. So with that being said, that is the second tier for us. Then it goes to residents, nonprofit, residents, profit, and then residents, non-residents, nonprofit, and non-residents, profit is the way our system sets up. So Green Hill Park, we've had some major challenges in Green Hill Park, particularly with parking and events. So in the summer, Green Hill is a major destination on a weekend, and there are times where we'll have people parked all over on the grass, on the sidewalk. Now I have people walking in the road. There have been times where I know, because I've driven through, an ambulance or a fire truck was never going to get through there. It was that tight along the roadway. So we've instituted a new program here for Green Hill Park. So if it's 50 people or less, it's one staff, and we're shutting down the parking lot that's near and across from the gazebo, or we call it a refectory, or the big pavilion that's there. If it's between 51 and 75, then it's two people, and we're shutting down the lot that's there and the lot that's up near the playground across from the farm. And then if it's more than 75, it's three people, because at that point we're shutting down Green Hill Parkway and the two parking lots as well. And that takes staff to be able to do that. That takes staff to be able to make sure that emergency vehicles can get through. That takes us having to reach out to the golf course and tell the golf course to send all of their golfers through Belmont Street and not come in off of Green Hill Parkway, and that way. And so those are the pieces to that. If we get anything over 125, we're going to sit down, because there's not enough parking for all of that. Even if you're coming in and as two per vehicle, there's just not enough parking in the park for that. And everybody wants to be right where the event is. Right? They can't walk. Everybody wants to be right where the event is. So we've had major challenges with that, and major safety challenges for both emergency vehicles and for our own staff. And so this is what we've implemented for that. So those costs are depending on how long your event is, how long we have to shut stuff down for, and then we'll do that. But it's a minimum of 4 hours for each individual, for each staff person, for that shutdown. When you submit, we really, truly need a really good map. It doesn't need to be like this. It can be drawn on a piece of paper, right, with a big circle or an area that you're sort of talking about, and what you want to put where. Because what we're going to do is we're going to look at that, and that's going to help us dictate what we're going to need for staff. Or, you know what, historically, we find that doesn't really work well there, and we'll give you that information to say, you know what, really this should move to here and that should move there, because functionally they're a little bit more together. Or, you want electricity on this side and that side, and I can't do that. We'll say, we'll move all the electricity to one side, and then we can try to figure that out that way. So the permit needs a map, because that really tells us. One of the things, and we'll get into this, is accessibility for someone that has a mobility device, or strollers, or whatever that may be. We want to make sure that they have access to enjoy your event, no different than any of us able-bodied individuals can enjoy your events. The sooner we get the map, the sooner we can give you an estimate on how much we think it's going to be on our end as a cost. So without the map, I can't really do that. I need to see the map so I can see the layout, because then what we do is at the end, when we confirm the layout, we give that to our staff that are going to be on site, so that they understand what goes where, and then you would work with those individuals, with our staff to lay things out to where they need to be. Event parking, really big issue. One of the reasons why we ended up going with this new plan for Green Hill, we really need to find out where people are going to park. As many of you know, some of our parks, Institute, East, don't have large parking lots or large areas to park. The Common, right? So we need to understand where everybody is going to go and how are people going to congregate for your event. Because what we're looking to do is we're trying to not impact our neighbors, park neighbors, or those that are around the individual park and overwhelm that neighborhood or that grouping on that. So we really need to know what that looks like, how that's going to work, where you're thinking you're going to go. Or if you're going to use side streets, that's fine. It's all legal parking as long as everybody's within the legal parking locations on a street, because parking control will go by, and Park Security does have the authorization to ticket for illegally parked vehicles. And we don't want that to happen to anybody, but we want to be able to make sure that people can come in and enjoy your event as well. One other thing, parking in the park, on the grass and everywhere else, don't do that. I'm the one that has to take care of it and make sure the asset stays in a condition that is usable for the next group that comes after you, the next weekend. So when you go in and park, and just decide that we're going to start parking cars all over the place, that doesn't help us on our end of it. And it could put damage to a facility that will take that offline for 3-4 months, depending on what the damage is. And now all of a sudden I've taken a facility offline because of carelessness in regards to someone just deciding that they want to drive because they want to drop their stuff off as close as they can to where they're assigned to be. So please do not allow your vendors, allow those individuals to drive in the site. If they are, we need to know about it, and we will let staff know that there's a core group, and our staff need to be there for that. Park security, we're a little short right now, but it's a good thing. It's winter months, so we're not as much of an issue. But we're in a hiring phase now for some additional park security staff. Standard days are Monday through Friday, 3:30 to midnight. Saturdays and Sundays, 7:30 to midnight. The phone number's on there. The phone number's going to be on your permit or on the information that you'll get. If you have any issues before, during, or after, Park Security is the place to go. If you have staff that are going to be at your event, one individual from our staff will come to you, whoever they'll look for and try to find the person who's in charge of the event and connect with you to say, hey, my name is Rob Antonelli, and I'm here staffing your event. Please feel free to let me know what you need, if there's something I can help with. All right? So that will be that. But if you don't see anybody, go to Park Security. They will help you dig that out and figure out, maybe the staff hadn't gotten there yet, or maybe we had to make a change last minute from one staff to another. But we're actually going to have a meeting with all of our staff, those who staff permits, to have a discussion with them on what their responsibilities are as well for a permit. So that's going to be happening later in March. Again, they do have parking control authority, so they can issue parking tickets if you're parked in front of a fire hydrant, you're parked in a handicap spot, you're parked someplace where you're not supposed to be. So they do have that authorization. Facility requests. Electric. When you ask for electric, we need to know what you need it for, because different needs require different amount of electricity, and then we need to know where you want it, and that's what the map's for. Trying to run electricity for 400 feet is not really your best option, right, with an extension cord. So that's one of the things that we need to understand, and then we need to understand what you're using it for. It's very different if you're going to come in with a hot plate than a radio. Two very different amounts of power and voltage and everything else that we need to understand before we say yes, we can do it, or no, we can't. So be clear with us in regards to what you want and how you want to set it up, and then we can better help you say, yeah, we can do this, or you know what, if you're going to do something on the right side, you can use our electricity. On the left side, you're going to have to use a generator. Food will require a permit. Usually it's only when it's for public purposes. So you're giving, if it's a closed event and it's only people in your event, then sometimes that you don't need the permit. But if it's an event where you're going to be giving out food, or vendors that you're bringing on are going to be giving out food, they're all going to need a permit. Portable restrooms. So there needs to be a minimum of one large accessible restroom. If you're going to have more than one, my recommendation is to get 2 large ones at least. They're not much more, and they're just a much better overall fit for what, for the public. It also, some of them come with baby changing stations and all of that kind of stuff. That's beneficial. Some of them don't. But you will need a minimum of 1 or 5% of the total number of portable restrooms. Now, if you're going to have an event where you're going to have restrooms on 2 sides of your event, that means you need a accessible restroom on one end, and you need an accessible restroom on the other side. So we call those clusters. So on either cluster, you will need a portable accessible restroom. All right? And that's particularly for the purpose that someone with a mobility device doesn't have to go only to one location when there's a whole bank of them over here. So we want to be able to have at least one at each location. Make sure that they're off of a hard surface. Grass is not a hard surface. It's not an accessible surface. So off of a walkway, off of something along those lines is what is preferred, off the back of a sidewalk. The entrance needs to be off of that hard surface. And just make sure that, you stay on top of them and make sure they're not getting beat up. Remember that those need to come in and come out on the same day. If for some reason that's not possible, you need to let us know that. So somehow we're going to need to secure those because they seem to be a really big vandalized item, both here and around the country from other park and rec directors that I talk to. So we want to make sure we're securing those the best we can if you can't get those out the day of your event. Event setup. If you're setting up your event and you're breaking down your event, staff need to be there for that purpose. So our staff are gonna be there when you're ready to start and until you're done. We're not coming in at the event time that it's supposed to start. We're coming in when you're setting up for the event. And then we're staying until you're done. For us, that's a protection of the asset, protection of the park, of which anyone who here is a Worcester resident or even a Commonwealth resident, you pay for. You pay for us to maintain and protect these facilities. And so that is our way of protecting the facility, is making sure that inappropriate things are not happening or vehicles are not driving all over the place and all of that. Accessible routes, again, just make sure that we have routes where people can get to, allow people that have mobility issues, have strollers or have whatever, are capable of getting to your event, getting to some of your vendors the best you can on that end of it. So we're more than willing to help on some of that, but it's really an important component to be inclusive of our entire community. So the more we can do with that, the better off we are. Understanding sometimes some things just don't work, but the best we can, we need to make sure that happens. If you have questions, you're more than welcome to call the ADA coordinator. So the City of Worcester has somebody that does this on a regular basis that can work with you or talk you through some of the logistics of that, of what they're looking for or any help that they can give you. Additional policies. So inflatables, no problem, no stakes in the ground. So tell your inflatable company to bring water barrels or concrete bricks or whatever to keep that thing in place. Tents, same thing. Pop-up tents, no stakes in the ground. Jess, I'm on I got nothing up here. Just so you know. I don't know if it's online or not. But in any case, so on the tents, no stakes, water barrels, concrete blocks, something along those lines, sandbags. Alcoholic beverages, we do not allow alcoholic beverages in any park facility. The only one we do allow it is on Worcester Common, and you need to get approval from this commission as well as the license commission. So that's a time frame that we need to try to meet. We meet once a month. License commission meets every 2 weeks or so, but we got to make it so it falls within the time frame to be able to get your event approved. Smoking in parks, no matter what it is, vaping, smoking, whatever, is not allowed. It's a city ordinance. It's not technically a park ordinance, a city ordinance. So there's no smoking allowed in any public park. That includes marijuana, even though it's legal. Cigarettes are legal as well, but we don't allow that either. So no smoking in our public parks. Dogs are allowed, except for Worcester Common athletic fields, athletic courts, playgrounds, skate parks, pools, and spray parks, and then beaches from Memorial Day to Labor Day. We do have 3, and we will have our 4th dog park opening up this coming summer over at Tacoma. So there are places for dogs to be able to go, but we do not want them in those facilities during regular business hours. Now, they're on leash and they're in the park, that's fine, but remember, it's your responsibility as a dog owner to have control over your dog at all times, which means not verbal control, physical control, as well as picking up after the dog. Because people will push back on me on a regular basis and our staff and say, that's not our responsibility. I can tell you, it's not park's responsibility to pick up after your dog. It's your responsibility as a dog owner. And as it relates to drones, it really depends on the location, on where you are, how close you are to the airport, where that is. So that is up to you to meet the FAA requirements for drones. If that's something that you're going to be using or attempting to use, you would need to meet all the FAA requirements for drones. Our good neighbor policy. So, Worcester does have a sound ordinance. Anything amplified cannot be audible with a distance of 50 feet or more from said public park, playground, or playing field. So it's not 50 feet from where the event is happening. It's 50 feet from the park property. To have it a little bit louder because they know about it, but be understanding that we have neighbors that are next to our public parks, and you are not the only event that they're going to hear all summer. Particularly Institute, a little bit of East, the Common. There's something there, a lot of weekends of the year. So just understand that we want to be understanding of those individuals that live next to the park. And we want to care about, the impact on them as well. So that's the end. Now, don't just start running out, because I know that's what it looks like. If there's any questions from the group that would be beneficial to the group, please let me know. We're more than happy to take those. The commission would be happy to take those as well. If not, Madam Chair, I would recommend, if we don't have any questions, we go into recess for 5 minutes. We allow this to clear out. Any of you that would like to stay, please feel free to stay. More than happy to have you. So thank you very much for coming. Fix that for me. Drew and Eric, we're gonna go move along. Are you ready?
Ready. Ready.
We'll come back to order. The first item is acceptance of the minutes from the December 4th, 2025 meeting. Does anyone have any questions or comments on those minutes, or could we have a motion to accept?
If there's no comments from Andrew and Eric, I'll make a motion to accept the minutes from December 4th. Second.
Actually, I'm sorry, we do not have the required number of people
Andrew, Brian,
here.
Eric.
Yeah. Yeah, we'll have to put this
Why?
off until the next meeting. I wasn't here.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Well, no, you
yeah.
Yeah, but we have quorum.
have enough.
Stratton, Yeah.
Oh, no, hold on, I'm looking at the wrong one.
the
No, we don't on
December
that one.
Yeah, not on December 4th. We do on the others.
4th. Chicharone,
Andrew,
Doherty,
Andrew is absent, so you got Nick, Brian,
And Eric.
Aaron was absent,
Eric.
though.
but you don't have Natalie,
Right.
Okay,
so you can't do the 4th.
all right.
So we're gonna move those to the next meeting.
Do we need a motion?
No, we'll
Okay.
just move those.
Next is the acceptance of the minutes from the December 18th, 2025 meeting. Does anyone have any questions or comments, or could we have a motion to accept?
If Andrew and Eric have nothing, I'll make a motion to accept the minutes from the December 18th meeting. I'll second.
Second.
Richard Doherty.
Yeah.
Commissioner Bartholomew,
Yes.
Commissioner Chacharoni,
Yes.
Commissioner Doherty,
Yes.
Commissioner Stratton,
Yes.
Commissioner Samaro,
Yes. And next is acceptance of the minutes from the January 29th, 2026 meeting. If anyone has any questions or comments, or a motion to accept?
I'll make a motion to accept the minutes from January 29th, 2026. Second.
Commissioner Bartholomew,
Abstain.
Commissioner Chacharoni,
Yes.
Commissioner Doherty,
Yes.
Commissioner Stratton,
Yes.
Commissioner Samaro,
Yes. Next is public participation. There will be a 2-hour time limit for this meeting unless a majority of the commission members present vote to extend the allotted time. For public participation on agenda items, a person may speak for no more than 3 minutes in total on any item appearing on the agenda. Is there anyone here tonight that would like to speak on an item on the agenda? Or anyone online?
No one's online, Madam Chair.
Next is the commissioner's report.
Madam Chair, if we could file event permit presentation?
So item 6A.
I'll make a motion to file 6A. Second.
Commissioner Bartholomew,
Yes.
Commissioner Chacharoni,
Yes.
Commissioner Doherty,
Yes.
Commissioner Stratton,
Yes.
Commissioner Samaro,
Yes.
Madam Chair, the next item is transmitting informational communication relative to the Green Hill Park Community Garden application. This is an item that went to the council this past Tuesday and is here as an informational item for this commission. My recommendation would be to file the item. Happy to take any questions if there are any.
I will make a motion to file item 6B. Second.
Commissioner Bartholomew,
Yes.
Commissioner Chacharoni,
Yes.
Commissioner Doherty,
Yes.
Commissioner Stratton,
Yes.
Commissioner Samaro,
Yes.
Madam Chair, C is transmitting informational communication relative to the report that was asked by the council of permits in events that have paid and not paid. For last fiscal year, we actually gave the council a list of all outstanding invoices that we currently have. The document is in here. It is going to go to subcommittee of the council to be heard by the council as well. But I wanted to at least give it to the commission for their information. My recommendation would be is to file it. If anything comes out of the subcommittee meeting, I can bring something back. But I don't see a reason why to have it sitting on the agenda.
And through the chair, to the commissioner, I just wanted to confirm that my understanding is that if there are outstanding balances that any of those organizations, should they submit for an event for this year, will have to pay that balance at that time, correct?
So through the chair to the commissioner, yes, that's the way we've been very flexible with that, as I stated in our meeting, where what we've done in the past is allow groups to pay their previous year first, so oldest invoice first. We've still allowed the event to happen. But we're starting to get to a point with some organizations where it's multiple years, and we're gonna need to start buckling down on that side of it. I do not anticipate at this point in time, right now, that we're gonna deny a request. But with that being said, there may be functionality there that we may end up having to do that because we're just not getting cooperation on payment of previous bills. It's a last step for us. We really don't want to go down that road. But to be fair with all of the other groups and organizations that do pay their bill, it may be the only appropriate way to move things along. But we're going to do everything
That
we
makes-
can. We're going to do everything we can to not have that happen.
Gotcha. No, that makes sense to me. I just wanted to confirm. Thank you.
Make a motion to file item
6C,
6C.
the second.
I'll second that.
Commissioner Bartholomew,
Yes.
Commissioner Cacciaroni,
Yes.
Commissioner Darty,
Yes.
Commissioner Stratton,
Yes.
Commissioner Samaro,
Yes.
Madam Chair, D on our listing here, seasonal employment opportunities for this coming year. In your packet is a item that will be going out in multiple ways through the city manager's office and through human resources. All of these positions are currently online in the city portal for employment, and we'll be looking to fill all of these positions. So I would encourage the commission, as well as anybody else, that as they see if they are looking for a summer job, or their children are looking for the summer job, or whoever they may know that needs a summer job, we have these openings that are happening, and we're already accepting applications.
Through the chair, Rob, these are 18 and over, or is it 16?
So some of them are 18, some of them are 16. So like if you're a maintenance director, that's an 18 and over job.
Yeah.
But if you're a gatekeeper, 16, 17 is fine. You're a laborer, seasonal maintenance worker, 16, 17, fine. But anything that's more of a management is 18 and over.
Okay. I will make a motion to file item 6D. Second.
Commissioner Bartholomew,
Yes.
Commissioner Cacciaroni,
Yes.
Commissioner Darty,
Yes.
Commissioner Stratton,
Yes.
Commissioner Samaro,
Yes.
Madam Chair, E, which is the Harrington Way donation. This is an item where we were giving, where Nesson and the Woo Sox all came in. They raised a whole bunch of money, almost $180,000 for a playground at Harrington Way at the corner. It was installed this past fall, and this is just the acceptance of the gift of the installed playground. Council has already approved it back in January, December, so it's just an informational item for the commission.
In that case, I'll make a motion to file item 6E. Second.
Commissioner Bartholomew,
Yes.
Commissioner Chacheroni,
Yes.
Commissioner Darty,
Yes.
Commissioner Stratton,
Yes.
Commissioner Samaro,
Yes.
Madam Chair, item F, Indian Lake Beach Grant Resolution. This past Tuesday, we submitted a grant resolution for the council to approve a grant for us to go after a $1 million opportunity with the National Park Service and the Land and Water Conservation Fund. This grant allows us to do that and then authorizes the manager to fund it on the capital improvement side for us. Basically, this will be the renovation of the demolition and building of a new building, along with a handicap accessible walkway from the building down to the beach, down to the water's edge, and some parking lot improvements over at Indian Lake Beach off of Clausen Road. My recommendation is, it's really informational. My recommendation would be is to file the item.
I'll make a motion to file item 6F. Second.
Commissioner Bartholomew,
Yes.
Commissioner Chacheroni,
Yes.
Commissioner Darty,
Yes.
Commissioner Stratton,
Yes.
Commissioner Samaro,
Yes.
Madam Chair, that's the end of my report.
Next, we have old business. The individual, organization, or group who has placed an item on the agenda may speak for no more than 5 minutes in total on the item they have submitted. First is item 7A, which is a request of Park Spirit to discuss items from an October 16th agenda as it pertains to parkland used for non-park purposes. And I think in conjunction with that, there was the request of Commissioner Stratton to have the Law Department review these items within 3 months.
So, Madam Chair, Law Department is not ready to submit anything or has not submitted anything. I anticipate that it will be in the March meeting. So my recommendation would be is to keep on old business.
Commissioner Stratton, do you have any?
I'm agreeable with that.
Okay.
Then I'll make a motion to move items 7A and B to old business. Keep them there. Second.
Commissioner Bartholomew,
Yes.
Commissioner Chacheroni,
Yes.
Commissioner Darty,
Yes.
Commissioner Stratton,
Yes.
Commissioner Samaro,
Yes. The next, item 7C, is a request from Jeffrey Killebrew to discuss item 1 on his requests from the January 29, 2026 Parks and Recreation Commission meeting.
Good evening. Question for you, just to clarify, it says item number 1, is that the only, out of the 5 points that
The agenda says item 1.
I'm pretty sure at the last meeting, we discussed 4 out of the 5 points.
Well, that was, yeah.
Well, not the last meeting, I
One
think
big-
3 meetings in a
two-
row.
Two meetings
Yeah,
Am I correct in saying that? Did we discuss the
Yes.
4 out of the 5
Yeah.
points?
Yeah,
so that
We-
was.
I think the only item was the letter that you wanted to talk to the commission about.
We
So-
saw item 1 as being a longer item to discuss, so we tackled, I believe, 2, 3, 4, and 5,
Yeah.
and said, hey, just to help move it, just to get you in, we moved
Okay.
that one to old, yes, that makes sense?
Through the chair, the minutes show that we made a motion to file by Commissioner Chacheroni, seconded by Commissioner Stratton, of items 2, 3, 4, and 5. And it was all in favor as a 4-0 vote to file those items.
Correct.
And then number 1 was asked to keep and to be placed on old
Yes,
business.
that's what I recall. Just because we ran out of time that day, okay.
All right, well, just for our records purposes, requesting that the commission authorize the Parks Department through Commissioner Antonelli or designated representative to enter into a written letter of commitment, and I gave an example of what that letter could look like with Jeffrey Killebrew and Fam Jam Event Group to collaboratively develop a park vendor capacity matrix by November 2026 to inform policy change for 2027.
So, there's a lot of words there, but if I may, I've been talking to him about this, and really what it is, it's basically a formal letter written from the Parks Department endorsing FamJam and Jeffrey to conduct what we're calling and what he's calling is a research project. So he wants to do like an in-depth research project that would allow him to come back to the commission in the future with particular data points around park usage, park accessibility, and the potential increase, evidence-based increase with a recommendation around each of the parks, as opposed to, showing up and saying, hey, can we increase, the parks from one novelty vendor and one, concession vendor to unlimited, right? And we just know that it's not feasible and rational to make such a drastic sweeping change. So I've advised him as a recommendation would be, why don't you get a formal commitment letter saying, yes, go and do a research project, right? And this way, it legitimizes and it endorses that we want this information, and he can then take that to Clark University, Assumption College, WPI, and some of these other colleges and get students to participate in a Worcester Parks research project to see about potential increases in vendor usage in our parks, fact-based. And I recommended that he identify somebody in like an that's going to school for urban planning, and they could put together a really nice research proposal for us to then, have a fact-based, data-based conversation around each and every one of the parks. And that's what the matrix means. It's like park by park by park. Criteria set, information gathered, presented to Rob and his team, and then potentially to us around that.
Oh, that sounds a lot easier than what you wrote. Through the chair to Mr. Antonelli, any concerns?
So I think on our end of it, I don't know exactly all of the pieces that we're looking at here and what that means and who's going to get that. My reading of that seemed like there was a lot of legwork on my end, which I really don't have the staffing for. So I think there's a little bit of a concern on our end that, that there's a lot of work here that I just don't have the resources to be able to do, particularly in our office right now. So there's some concerns on that end for us. I think if there's a discussion about trying to figure out what those data points are, it'll be a little bit, maybe I just missed it, and that could be the case, but a little bit what those are, like I don't know, I guess I don't have a good enough understanding of exactly what all of those pieces are of that and what they're looking for.
Let's divert that back to, did you need the commissioner, was there a specific amount of time that you were requesting the parks to participate, or were you thinking that by just having the endorsement saying, yes, I endorse FamJam to do this research project and come back and present findings, would then allow you to scale what you're trying to do with the community, the students? And would you need his time, or would that be limited? And I do agree completely. I think there has to be some clarity around what's the criteria, what are the different data points, and scope that out. That would need to be defined. I would think it might be.
Well, do a lot of the data points come from the cultural office? Because I just learned from the presentation today, the permits all go through there first.
Yeah.
I'm just talking out loud. That's all.
And to be honest, I think we need to get to to understand how much reliance and time are you going to need from Mr. Antonelli, because that does make a big difference.
And the other piece to it ends up being, if you're looking for demographic information, we don't track demographic information. I don't track who somebody is,
Yeah.
Their background or anything along those lines. So we don't do any of that.
Yeah.
For us, everybody is just what we consider them an event or permit holder or event applicant. right? We don't dig it down that far kind of thing.
Yeah, and I don't
So-
think that would be in scope for what he's looking
Okay,
into.
so, but those are some of the things that I wasn't sure of when
Yeah,
I'm looking
sure,
at
sure.
what this thing was.
I think it was more, and I want you to chime in, but just really quickly, I think it was more about like size of the park, like how many people visit the park, more data points around that, how many events are happening at the park, what's the parking accessibility like, how many spaces are there, like, so a lot of it's gonna be a lot of research, on his side, and a lot of things that are probably already accessible, but just going to scour it and try to find that information and put it together. But I do think, again, there still needs to be some data clarification about like what exactly.
Well, just to start to answer these questions, for one, it's about building a relationship with these with the city departments that are all involved in park permitting and street vending. So, when I did send a copy of a proposal of what the letter would look like, that includes the purpose and scope. So that was an attachment. All right, so on point number 4 of that, the recommendation, it basically explains that we want to meet twice a month. And what that meeting looks like is one time in person, whether it be for half an hour, maybe up to an hour, just to kind of chop it up, you know. Then the other time that we meet is in front of the Parks Department to present what we've found. Now, most of the research and the data is going to be on my end. That's why I'm looking to kind of start to ask some questions. So when we talk about collaborating with the Worcester Research Bureau or Clark University, Quinsig, I'm going to be collaborating with those students to kind of like find out what their core studies are and what they may find as interesting as we kind of go from month to month. What these data points are important. Some of them we may not see until we start to go through it. One of the students may say, well, what about this? And I'll say, well, hey, if you have an interest in that, take that on. Let's see how we can discover those data points and how it might impact. But to just kind of point out what those data points would look like. For one, in point number two of that proposal, so we want to share relevant historical and current data related to park vending. Participate in regular coordinated meetings. Let's see, support data collection, engage in good faith. So the matrix would include a daily versus weekend trends, morning versus afternoon activity, seasonal patterns, high uses versus underutilized parks. That's kind of why we named University Park as one to start off with at the last meeting. The number of vendor applications per park, the bid versus lottery winners, what's happened over the last maybe 3 years since the new changes had been developed. Let's see, co-vending participation, like this past year. Throughout the process, we said that we'd have a vendor have another vendor under them. Maybe we'd find out why didn't anybody select someone to work under them. So it's based on some of the things that we already know and the changes that we requested, what was the impact of it so far? Get feedback from the vendors themselves. So not so much, looking for too much time from Mr. Antonelli or anyone who else is designated throughout the month. But like I said, we meet like maybe once for half an hour and find out, okay, well, in a sense, honestly, Mr. Antonelli is the Parks Commissioner for the city. I've become a commissioner in a sense of Rockland Trust Plaza. So there's certain things that I'm looking to learn even throughout this process because it's going to grow. My capacity in the city is going to grow, so it only makes sense for me to collaborate with those who are in positions of authority in the city to help improve changes.
But it's just so I'm clear, it sounds like all the Parks Commission can give you is a name, a date, and a fee. Right, for this research. It's all we can, other than that, we don't keep any other high-low traffic counts. We don't, I don't think,
Leave that to him.
that's
do the
all up to you.
research.
So you're really asking for almost nothing from the Parks Commission, if I'm correct.
No, over the last 3 years, so how many vendors have
A
participated?
list, you're looking for a list.
Well, by year,
Yeah.
sure. Yeah.
Okay.
Through the chair, those are readily available on the
That's-
purchasing website.
That's what that's what I was trying to, I'm just trying to,
Those individuals are already on there.
okay, so you can get, that's what I thought, you could get that list, I think, because I saw it one day.
Yeah, ultimately, I mean, if.
I don't think you need approval from us to do this.
How I understand it is more so the letter of commitment to endorse the work that he's doing is gonna help him do the research.
Convince the
And
schools to
convince
help.
schools and
Okay.
other to go out and find, he has so many questions. He needs so much information, right? Like, we can't keep up with how much questions
Okay.
he brings
Another-
continuously. Hold on. So, even though, yes, we're saying it's accessible here, we've been saying, Jeff, go here. If there's almost like a research project that goes, he can outline all of those things that he wants research on, and then have students who would be interested in doing a project go and populate all that information for Jeff. And then, and they may be showing up to a meeting to ask us questions. They may be providing recommendations in the future. But I'm trying to help him in his effort to evangelize our parks and activate our parks. And by doing so, you need to do it incrementally, and you need a lot more information. You have to understand what's happening at those parks. You have to be informed, and you gotta go park by park to see what changes could possibly be realistic. And I think an in-depth research project could help.
So one more point I wanted to make is, so the parks that were designated were, as far as as options for street vendors, had to be designated for a reason. So I'm looking for what informed that decision. If you talk about pricing per park, what informed that decision? So it's not just a list of vendors. So I'm not looking. I'm hoping that you're not looking for a way out. These are certain. There are some information I could find online. But again, the purpose is to develop relationships with the departments who are in charge of vending, not just the Parks Department, but purchasing department, the police department, inspectional services. So because I found out that a lot of times these departments don't communicate. Even as earlier today, that was presented with the parks, with the special event permit, there are certain things that were presented that, the way it was presented, that you'd have to go and check with the cultural development to find out more information. So I found out that a lot of times between departments, they don't know how they intersect with the other departments. And that's not just in Worcester, but that's at the state level. I mean, I called to the child labor laws when it comes to kids getting their vendor permit. And speaking with, they didn't even know really how they interconnected. So this is a challenge across the state. So we should be the first ones to show proof of concept of how we can make it easy and inviting for people to start businesses, operate creative businesses in public spaces. Under the cultural development plan that was drafted in 2019, we have another one that's coming up. 2.4.g of that document said that the city wants to encourage busking, which is street performing in high pedestrian areas, that they want to simplify the application process to become a street vendor. So we want to, if that's what the city is saying that they want to do, let's do that. Let's make Worcester an inviting place for street vending, for performing, and treat them as an amenity to the city, an attraction to the city, and not so much just as a nuisance. So it'd be great to have the expertise, the experience of the Parks Department, and whatever information they'd be willing to provide in a good faith collaboration towards that effort.
I have a question, Commissioner Antonelli. So last year, right around this time, I believe it was the Friends of Green Hill Park. They did a report of some sort on people who use Green Hill Park, how they got here, their transportation, where they live, that kind of thing. I looked back and I couldn't immediately find it. Do you know how they gathered some of that information?
So they did that, they didn't have any approval from us for that. They went out and did a survey, and they did contact information with people, and either asked the questions verbally right there, or gave them a QR code to go back to do a online SurveyMonkey kind of item for it. And so they did that all. To be honest, I didn't know that it was happening until they came to me with the sort of the final result component to it.
I showed up, yeah, and I don't know. Do you remember that presentation?
do.
It was right around this time last year. Do you remember, Brian? So they came and, yeah, they talked, I'm trying to, I wish I could think of more of the components, but I do remember one of the things was how do people get to this park? And which neighborhoods do they live in? But, it sounds like that's information that they just went out into the parks and talked to people.
Yep.
They kind of gathered all that and they
Yep.
synthesized it and put it together and brought it to you, which is actually, you're saying you don't have the capacity to really, the staff to go out and do all that. So it sounds
Correct.
like this could be something helpful if you do it, but it does sound like it might be something, if you were to take those steps on your own, like going out, going to the parks when the vendors are there, how long have you been there, how long have you been doing this? Some of the events, some of the people, some of this information is available, like, there was a list in the packet tonight, which would be in the meeting minutes of all the events that happened in 2025, or what people paid. So you could probably just do a rough tally of those events and maybe extrapolate from some of those. Well, if it was a birthday party, maybe 10 to 20 people, maybe you leave those out, but if it's a festival, maybe those are the people that you focus on. I'm not really sure, like, there's probably many better ways to do this, but there's probably a lot of information that is publicly available that you could take, and then actually gathering, and going and talking to some of those people. There's probably a lot of stuff that you could gather, and I think, like, you talk about bringing in students, some of them probably have a better idea of how to frame some of those research projects, or even, is their official name the Friends of Green Hill?
That's an
No, it's the Green Hill Park Coalition.
Green Hill Park Coalition?
Yep.
And I don't, I was just gonna go and see if they had some sort of
Well, let me-
Facebook page or,
They do.
okay.
I understand what you're trying, I understand the concept of what you're asking. I get what you're trying to do, and I get what you're trying to do. Would a letter from just, say, the commissioners and not Commissioner Antonelli help? Only because I don't want to commit to him adding work to Rob's plate. Whereas, I think a letter from us says, hey, we would like to see this, gives you the backing or legitimacy you want to present to schools. That makes sense?
That makes sense. I think the second piece is you do want time with Mr. Antonelli, which I think that's the easy thing, and I like that recommendation. I think it will legitimize what you're trying to do. It'll endorse it. It'll, I think it'll encourage people to want to participate, right?
That's
Which is
right,
which
that's
is
what you
a
want
big-
to try to do, yes.
Right, you want to encourage people to want to participate. The second piece is you are asking for somebody's time, whether it's the commissioner or whether it's a
And keep in
commission.
mind, if you ask for more than 4 of us, you have to announce the meeting.
Right.
Um,
And you're flat out saying once a month, 30 minutes.
Well, through the chair, he's
This
talking
gentleman.
twice a month.
Well, the other times in front, I
He
could
was,
be an
he
agenda.
was thinking the second time was informal, but it
It
can't be
was-
informal.
No, the second meeting would be here at an actual meeting, if there was an agenda item to bring. Other than that, instead of him coming to a monthly meeting with a bunch of agenda items and trying to get to this research, he would meet with Mr. Antonelli at Mr. Antonelli's discretion and time for 30 minutes once a month. So there's 2 parts to that. Because as he's doing the data and the research and putting together the research, have a conversation with Mr. Antonelli, see what needs to be adjusted, see what can be changed, see what can be filled in, go along the journey together. And potentially, they come up with a recommendation together on where park can be increased and recommended, and, it's a recommendation from Mr. Antonelli with Jeff. But that's really if you have the bandwidth.
That's,
to do
I
that.
can't, I can't, yeah, I can't.
We can't,
I
I'm not
can't
gonna
back-
make-
exactly.
I'm not gonna make a motion to request, he extend himself even
Yes.
more than he's already extended.
That's
So I
right.
need Mr. Antonelli to tell us, yes, I can do that, or no, I cannot. Once, every other month for 30 minutes, something to meet with him is my ask. And that was his original ask, a part of the letter endorsing the research project.
What,
I was just thinking, some of the other groups that have taken on certain initiatives, what's an effective way that they've done these things? Groups that have done, throughout the years, throughout your years here, groups that have taken on certain initiatives in the parks, what's an effective way?
So we've worked with Park Spirit to do different things, and they've done the majority of it on their own. So, they've said, we want to build,
The fitness.
a fitness center, or the fitness trail, or they're going to do the disc golf, right? And so, they did all the initial legwork, and then we, the commission and the administration, got something that they said, okay, well, here's what we're looking to do. And then we reviewed it. I'll be very honest, right? This time of year, as we're moving into the heat of what I would call our busiest time of year, it's very difficult to try to start carving out, time, because if I do it for one, I got to do it for everybody. And it becomes very difficult on my end of it. And it's already 8:30, 8:15 at night, and I'm still here. And I've been here since, before 8 this morning. So it gets a little difficult on that end of it. I would rather go the route that, Green Hill Park Commission did, Green Hill Park Coalition did, or others where they're building stuff up and then we're reviewing it and not having to build it all over just because of the time and energy that it has on that. And my schedule's like packed every single day. I mean, I'm staying till 7, 8 o'clock at night just to try to make sure my emails are caught up. So.
Yeah, we're not the only commission. There's the cemetery commission, there's the
That's why I have trouble.
urban tree commission, there's the forestry commission, so.
My recommendation would be, if the commission wants to do this, then let's start with that piece of it, and then start building out the pieces. The majority of the information is available. I wouldn't be comfortable giving out contact information.
Shouldn't.
I mean, I think it'd be just as easy if they know where it is, they can go to that vendor when the vendor's out there, if that's the case. But there may be vendors that don't want to talk about it, and I don't want to give contact information for that wouldn't be, to someone who doesn't want to talk about it or not be involved. So I'd be a little leery on that side of it as well.
But the people who win, that's all publicly available information, right?
Right,
Yeah, like the people who win.
I don't know
bids,
to be very honest, I don't know what's publicly available on
the
there.
contact info might not be.
It may not be. It may be their
Who they are,
company
where
name
they
and
are,
whatever else
yeah.
is, but maybe not the other.
Excuse me, the list of vendors for the parks, I already have the list of vendors, so I'm not looking for the list of vendors. Please be clear on that. What I'm looking for is the cooperation throughout the year, because at the moment, I don't know what I don't know. So as we're going through to collect data, it's important, and I'm only asking for once a month. So at half an hour at a time, if it's a scheduled day, every Friday at 9 o'clock, I'm saying once a month, the third Friday, once a month for 20 minutes, let's bring it down. The question is, are you willing? So it would be 5 minutes, 10 minutes to 15 minutes or an hour. The question is, are you willing to collaborate for the better good of the community? And as we're saying that, we want to have vendors in our parks. The question is Worcester vendor friendly? And I'm looking to hear, is Worcester vendor friendly? Do we want to see more street vendors in our city parks? Do we want to see more performers? Are they an asset to our community? Are we going to empower these artists and these entrepreneurs? And here's an easy way to see that tonight. What are we going to do to continue to work towards that goal as a community? Looking at the Worcester Cultural Development Plan, which was under the jurisdiction or the responsibility of the Parks Department, DPW, Economic Development, Cultural Development. I know this is back in 2019, so I've been at this for a while, and I know what I'm talking about in terms of what the goal is. But the question is, how do we get there? And as I've been working on this over the last few years, I'm discovering some gaps in the communication. We want to mitigate those gaps, bring everybody together. Let's have a good time. We're talking about food, talking about fun at the parks. So I think that this would be something that would be like a no-brainer.
No, I think there's a lot of things that we all completely agree with. We want activation in the park. We're here to support the park. We're here to support the community. And I think there's just a lot of complexities. I really don't think it's that simple. We were talking about time and giving time. He just explained that he pretty much has no time.
Oh, that's fine. Can we
I-
designate
I
someone
would-
else?
I would yeah, that's where I was, I think we could, maybe if you could recommend somebody else on your team that might have some time. If not, then maybe there's a commissioner that is willing to give that time to you once a month. Would that suffice?
I'm willing to collaborate.
So is there anybody that you'd recommend on your team that could collaborate with him, or is there something you could think about, over the next 30 days? Or is
Yeah.
that off the table due to just how busy and strained you all are?
Well, it's just we're
Plus
getting,
setting the precedent, which
I
I
mean,
think
we're
is
getting
big
into a
piece.
timeframe where we're hiring 150 youth workers, and there's a lot going on. So let me take a look at it, and I can get back to you at the March meeting and let you know that, this would be the direction that we would go.
Okay, and just a reminder, the proposal is attached to the email. So it's in blue, if you click it, it has like a proposal, what the details will be looking like. And I'm open to negotiations, so I'm looking forward to what you come back as to your feedback on that document.
So I think what we also agreed on too, and thank you, Commissioner, and thank you. We agreed that it would likely be a letter from the commission endorsing the research project. I could take a stab at reviewing the letter, revising the letter, presenting it for the next meeting, what that could look like for us as commissioners to sign it, endorsing it, make sure we're comfortable with it. And we can even revise it on the spot if it needs to be revised. The other thing is, the Commissioner Antonelli says that he'll look to his staff to see if there's additional visibility or availability for you once a month, whether it's, 15 minutes to 30 minutes to an hour. That is
It
what
won't be
you're-
more than an hour.
So, well, it won't be more than 30 minutes.
I would
either.
guarantee
It
that.
won't be more than 30 minutes. So I think it could help streamline a lot of the things that have been happening. So I think we need to I'll make a motion to file this item, because there will be, a new agenda item for the next meeting. Which will be to review the letter, from the commission endorsing the research project and an update from Commissioner Antonelli on potential availability or not, to meet with FAMJAM.
Okay, so you file this first, and then you'll make that motion? Or make a motion to file this first, yeah.
Make a motion to file this old business, item. It's not in front of me
C.
anymore.
7C.
7C.
Second.
Commissioner Bartholomew,
Yes.
Commissioner Charteroni,
Yes.
Commissioner Darty,
Yes.
Commissioner Stratton. Commissioner.
Yes.
Commissioner Samaro,
Yes.
And I make a motion to add on the next meeting agenda, an update from Commissioner Antonelli on availability of a park staff member to meet with FAMJAM and Jeff Killebrew once a month.
Yes.
Commissioner Bartholomew,
Yes.
Commissioner Charteroni,
Yes.
Commissioner Darty,
Yes.
Commissioner Stratton,
Yes.
Commissioner Samaro,
Yes.
And I make a motion to add to the agenda item for the next meeting, for Brian Darty to present to the commission a commitment letter endorsing FAMJAM to conduct a research project.
Second.
Commissioner Bartholomew,
Yes.
Commissioner Charteroni,
Yes.
Commissioner Darty,
Yes.
Commissioner Stratton,
Yes.
Commissioner Samaro,
Yes. Next is new business. Agenda items must be submitted 3 business days before each commission meeting with the subject line, agenda item to parks@worcesterma.gov, and reply satisfactorily to any required follow-up requests sent by the Parks and Recreation Commission. The individual organization or group who has placed an item on the agenda may speak for no more than 5 minutes in total on the item they have submitted. Item 8A is a request from City Councilor Morris Bergman to support a renaming opportunity at Beaverbrook Park in honor of the late Douglas J. Hannum Jr. The administration recommends the following naming: the Douglas J. Hannum Jr. Sports Complex at Beaverbrook Park.
So, oh,
So through the chair, we need to advertise this.
Okay.
And so we're looking to advertise this and have this come up at the April meeting.
I'll make a motion to advertise this naming of Beaverbrook Park after Doug Hannum.
If I may, just before we do, my only question is, was there any supporting documentation other than just the recommending of the naming? I know we've seen these before where there's usually
There's
a bit more
There's a letter.
documentation. There's a letter. Okay, perfect.
There was a letter
Sorry.
from
Must be.
Councilor Bergman.
Lovely. Okay, not a problem. Thank you.
Just my 2 cents, just a background for Doug Hannum. If you know what Beaverbrook Park and Ted Williams baseball, you know Doug Hannum. He's one of those people you hated to deal with until you got to deal with him and you understood his love of youth baseball. So he was, yeah, he's one of the greatest, a great guy. So that's, in case I'm not here at the next meeting when we do vote on it, as my piece on it, so. So I'll make a motion to, for 8A, to advertise the naming rights of Beaverbrook Park after Doug Hannum. Second.
Commissioner Bartholomew,
Yes.
Commissioner Tucciarone,
Yes.
Commissioner Darty,
Yes.
Commissioner Stratton,
Yes.
Commissioner Samaro,
Yes.
So we need to file that?
No, we approved it
Okay.
to advertise.
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn?
Second.
Give it to him. Give it to him.
Sounded like Eric.
okay.
No, that was Commissioner Bartholomew.
Oh, Bartholomew, Andrew,
Yeah.
sorry.
Thank you.
Give him the credit.
Commissioner Bartholomew,
Yes.
Commissioner Tucciarone,
Yes.
Commissioner Darty,
Abstain.
Commissioner Stratton,
Yes.
Commissioner Samaro,
Yes.
Overruled.
Commissioner Darty.
Yes.
Wait a minute, is it a yes or an abstain?
Gavel it.
I thought I would have heard that from Commissioner Stratton. Thank you.
Thanks, everyone.
Thanks, everyone.